We have a little bit of economic top ahead for you here. Newsmax Money News Deputy Financial Editor Rob Williams joins us to talk some economy. Rob, welcome.
Thanks, Rick.
Nice
Good
to be
here
with you.
Thank you.
So I got to go right to the good news. We actually got a little bit of good news this morning, didn't we?
Right, we did. This morning we saw consumer confidence actually go up this month from the prior month, indicating that people feel better about the economy.
Now, I thought it was curious because last month we actually saw a dip. For the months preceding that, it was pretty steady. Am I right?
It was pretty steady, and you're right, it did dip last month.
So what happened? This is always fascinating to me. What happened to make people more confident in July than they were in June?
Well, I think there's a number of things. Last month, the headlines coming in from across the world weren't so good.
July wasn't exactly a mellow month of headlines. This is the other part that does confuse me. You had terrible headlines in July. Reason to worry about oil, reason to worry about security, reason to worry about all these things, and yet consumer confidence went up, which only says to me people felt like they had more money in their pocket.
Well, I think you're right there. They also had jobs, and that's one thing that we have seen this year is that people are getting jobs. The jobs numbers look much better than they did a year ago.
But here's where it gets weird. At the same time as confidence went up, spending went down.
Well, that's true. They're getting jobs, but their wages aren't growing. That's the one fly in the ointment here.
Do those two normally run in tandem? Typically, do we see if confidence is improving that people are spending? Was this an anomaly? What happened here?
I think it's mostly driven by wage growth, and so when you have a job, you are able to spend more. As far as consumer confidence, that can go up or down depending on how people feel about the outlook.
So nothing out of the ordinary. Should we get used to seeing a little more consumer confidence coming up for the rest of the year?
Well, that's a good question.
Hard to say, right?
It is hard.
I put you on the spot. I like doing that. Rob Williams, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Rick.
Coming up next, Dr. Mark Ben-Huri, I should say, joins me to discuss the Iranian regime now arming the Iraqi Kurds in their fight against ISIS. Don't go anywhere. We're coming right back.
I'm going to tell you something. They're going to call you chicken if you don't swim. You are the world record holder. And the premier Olympic swimming event is the 100 freestyle.
With those words from his coach, Olympic history was made. Born Mark Andrew Spitz in the little town of Modesto, California, the future Olympian record holder began his swimming career at the age of 2 in the Hawaiian waters of Waikiki Beach. 4 years later, Mark and his family moved to Sacramento, California, and by age 10, he held 17 national age group records and 1 world record. But the best was yet to come. After a disappointing performance at the 1968 Olympics, the Shark, as nicknamed by his teammates, returned to the Olympic Games in 1972, determined to do better. As history records, at the 20th Olympiad, Mark Spitz won 7 gold medals and set 7 world records in the process. But it almost didn't happen. After winning his 5th gold medal, the Olympic champion faced his toughest competitor, Australian Michael Wendon, in what Spitz had always considered his toughest race, the 100-meter freestyle. He thought seriously of withdrawing from the biggest race of his career. But with encouragement from his coach, Spitz reconsidered and changed history. Spitz's achievement gave America a boost internationally as the nation suffered in global public opinion from its long war in Vietnam. And Spitz's victory in the sports arena was especially gratifying. As an American Jew, his victories cast a powerful shadow over the Palestinian Liberation Organization's Munich terrorism, when 11 Israeli athletes were held hostage and eventually murdered by the group belonging to the Black September organization. Despite the horrors and his own nail-biting competition, Mark Spitz always maintained his sense of humor. The night before competition was to begin, he was asked by a Russian reporter why he wore a mustache. Although he had planned to shave it that very night, he replied,
I said, no, it doesn't slow me down. I said, it deflects the water away from my mouth. It allows my head to get a lot lower and more streamlined, my behind actually up, and so that's why I was able to break the world record at the Olympic trials in Chicago 3 weeks before. The guy looked at me and hesitated, and then he translated as fast as he could into Russian. All male Russian swimmers the next year had a mustache.
For Newsmax TV, I'm Bill Curtis, and this is an American moment.
Always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.